Sometimes I'm mixing and I'll have several tracks that are the same category, like drums or background vocals. And I want to put them into this one group because it makes it easier to mix. It makes it easier to EQ them. It makes it easy to do almost everything. So we're going to do that right now. So here I've got 5 tracks. It looks like 6 here, actually. And I've got these 6 tracks here. And we'll hear them back for a second here. So normally I want to bounce my tracks. So I went through them real quickly here and get an idea what's going on here. This is not too bad. Those levels are good. And I want to go to my next track. That's kind of really small there. I thought that was a little small. So I'm going to go here, and it's going to do a little editing here for our track. Just sort of make it a little bit more, a little louder here. That's better for me. That's better. That's better for that track. And we're going to go back here for this track here. And this is really not that. It's supposed to be kick. So I'm going to label my track. Great. And this level's not bad. Bring it up just a hair. That's good. So you see here, I'm right here in the sample view, in the clip, right next to detune and transpose. I'm bringing up some of the audio file, 2 dB. So I can get some good levels. And this is good. And then my snare looks pretty good here, and so does the kick drum. Great. So I've got these tracks. I think one track has a little noise on it here, I think. Yep, this one right here. I don't like that at all. Start up some here. So run this track here, yep. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go here to the rim shot. I'm going to pull in a little gate right here. We'll set up already for us. That's better when it's a little gate on top of there, getting that noise. Oh yeah, now I'm feeling it. That sounds pretty good there. Not too bad. Okay, good. So we got these tracks. I want to group them up. So I'll select on my tracks, hold down Shift, hit the first and last track, and now I can make them into a group. I'll press Command G, or on a PC it's Control G. And you can see right here, they've turned into a nice group there. And I have my group little wheel right here. I can switch them off. I can flip them into one group or make them spread out. See? It's a really great way to have your tracks lined up, and it makes it easier for you to control the tracks. And the beauty I like about this, we can have individual effects for each track. So for example, you just saw me put an effect here on this snare drum. And that snare drum's there. I go back to here, I pull it up, that's it. I go to snare, and I put an effect on it. You know, make it easier. So well, let me hit the snare again. Let me go back to the snare and hear it again. Oh, this one here, actually. So this track right here. This one. So that effect right there. So you can affect each track. This makes it easier than having them all just on one MIDI file. If I have them all on separate tracks, I can also EQ them. I can add a gate or a reverb somewhere. I can add a little bit of flange or maybe on that hi-hat somehow to give it a little like club-like feel to it. So, you know, it's really a great way to actually work with tracks. And this is what we call in the business as subgrouping. So you make a group out of a bunch of tracks, and it's a subgroup within the mix. So for example, if I close this group up and I'm playing the tracks, this one fader controls all of them. See that? This fader right here controls all those tracks, which makes it easier. Rather than having to keep moving or turn the hi-hat up or turn them off as one group, this one group fader controls all of them. And then internally within this group, they have their own separate levels. Where I can say, well, turn this one down, play it back, listen to this here, how's that sound, bring this down to here. I can also provide panning, a little panning this way. This can pan just a slightly this way. I can do a little panning in here too as well. Now as I pan them, and I get the levels correct, you'll notice here it does not affect the group. The overall group track setting for the panning is the same, and there's no problem with that. So that makes it even better. So this is a great way to actually work with groups. I like it particularly with vocals or, like I said, drums or anything that combine, like a bunch of different shakers or a bunch of different snares. In some club mixes, I may have 3 or 4 snare drums. I may want to put them so that they sound almost similar, but they have some sort of effect as the song moves on. A different snare for the chorus. Sometimes guys will put a different snare for the verse. It'd be slightly different, but have the same effect, but have a little harder hit during the chorus. So this is kind of cool. So I can go back to here, and you'll notice too that in this group track, and to the right of it, there's these little signs, meaning that there are clips in this group, and you can see that. So I can just fire a clip off from here. I can go like this, and it plays. Start from here. Rather than go inside and have to do each one of these drum sounds separately, it makes it easier. And also, I like to name my tracks too as well. So I got some names that should be here. There we go. And one here. It's a clave. And I'm good to go now. Now I'm just about ready. So it's set up to go. It makes it easier for us to work. We got our volume controls, and there's no problem working with anything. Now I can also do my sends and returns. Like for example, I've got to return A and I got to return B here. Now for A, let's get a reverb, something classic, you know. Everyone wants a reverb somewhere. So I'm going to scroll down here in my live devices and find a reverb I could use. And I'll get a nice, maybe a smaller room, a drum room. Here you go, perfect. I'll get a drum room. And we'll take this drum room and we'll put it right here in the return. It's right there. Great. And now I can go over here in the group, on the group track right here, and I can say, let's add this in a little bit. So I'll say, let's go back to here. Let's fire these bad boys off. Yep, there we go. Now, one thing about drums, I never put a reverb on a kick drum. I mean, if I do, it'll have to be rare. It's a little bit of reverb, and for club, it'll be a punch enough reverb where there's a little reverb in the background. I have a balance, so I can just have a dry mix of the drum and have like a little reverb of the drum when I want to. So here, what I do is you can say, well, look, I don't want to have that on that drum, you can say. So you can just say, turn it off, and see, we can cut it off totally. We can have this, I'll say, forget this. We'll just have the sends here. So the send is here. I'll send here, see? I'll send here. So we can send individual sends out rather than doing a whole group send. And then we turn the sender going on. You don't hear it, right? So watch this. Now I'll go to here. So now you hear it because the kick drum's not feeding much now. I'm gonna put a little, I do put a little bit, but not where you can't really hear it. Just enough so it's there, because the kick drum is the center of attention right there. It holds the whole pulse together on the rhythm section. The heartbeat. So we got a little bit more of that you hear on those clave sounds and a little bit of on the triangle with the shakers. So I can bring that back some. I can put a little bit more here in the shakers and bring this back. So we can adjust the sends and returns also if you want to, but it's still one overall mix. And it's still just a group. Close it up, this just affects the group only. Open it up, and the group's right there. And I can also, if I want to say, well, you know, I may not even want that on there. So I can go to here, and I can say, well, look, I want to get something different. I want to maybe cut the highs out somewhere. So I'm going to scroll back up here to an EQ. If I can find an EQ. Oh, we go. EQs are right here. We got drum EQs, so I want to give it some of the highs. I'll use this one here, and we'll pop this one in. And that appears there just like that now. And now I'll play it back. See that? That's the whole group. But suppose I don't want that on one sound. Solve it real easy. Here's how you do it. You go here, it's in group, now send it to the master. And then that way, that sound's not affected by that effect in the group. Now I'll play it back. See? that drum is not affected at all. So you see that? That's a great way to work. So whenever you're trying to lock something up and you want it to have that really great feel to it, I like to work with groups. It's so important to keep the groups going in the right direction. And plus, you know, I launched the clip swap from here. It's even better. And I can close it up, and we got something going on. And that's how we can create groups in Ableton Live.